you okay?
Get that fucking off me.
Are you okay?
Over half of the world's population claim to have seen a ghost. We spend our lives studying the unexplained.
Did you hear that?
Travelling to the most haunted locations around, we have unearthed terrifying secrets and witnessed horrifying events, leading us to question what really happens after we die.
Get out!
If there is a spirit world connected to our own, using the latest technology, we believe that bridge can be documented, measured, and explained. We are the Paranormal Detectives. Join us in seeking the truth.
Right guys, here we are back at the Ancient Ram Inn for our latest fear experiment, the third fear experiment. We are here with Sophie and Louise. Safe to say they're not as scared as Brian is.
I'd agree.
I'd agree. So let's get straight to it. Obviously no mobile phones, no devices, we're all going in completely naked bar our clothes. Okay.
Before we get started, can I just ask what rooms people are scared of having, if there's any?
The barn.
You don't want the barn? Okay.
Probably the barn. Yeah.
The barn.
Really?
That's interesting. They're both.
I'm scared of the barn as well.
Yeah, I don't like the barn either. So.
I don't like the attics, it's a lot of steps. I just want to go in and...
Do you know, I didn't see that one come in, but I probably should have done.
You'll start pulling the names out of a hat. Right, let's start off.
What we got?
The witch's room.
Okay.
So we're starting off with the witch's room. Sophie's room first.
Thanks.
Right, so Sophie's in the witch's room, as you can see. We're not completely that off. We don't want to get so we'll give you a UV torch to go in with. What number's the witch's room?
Number 2.
Witch's room is number 2. So if you head in, follow it along. You come to the bar area, walk through, round upon yourself, and you find some stairs. Walk the stairs, very top of the stairs, on your right. Look. Give you a couple of minutes to get there. Quite glad about that, I don't like the witch's room. Honestly, I don't. The next room is the bishop's room. Do you know much about the bishop's room?
A little bit.
A little bit. So that is said to be the most haunted bedroom in the whole of the UK. Out of the Ram race, where
Amazing.
honestly it's supposed to be. I had an experience there when I went to go in there once. So I tried to knock on the door and it literally knocked back at me. It is scary in there. Said to be haunted by an evil monk and a Roman centurion supposed to be seen in there, and that's the room that people have been known to jump through the window to escape. So good luck with that one.
Thanks.
We know it's going to be you because obviously our name is going to pull out last. Yeah, so when you go in,
Yep. So do I.
When you go into this room,
Yep.
you go up up the stairs, try and work your way around up the stairs. Turn left, it opens into a landing, and there's like a corridor that goes down, and the bishop's room's on your right. It actually says the bishop's room, and it's numbered what, 4?
Number 3.
Number 3.
I think I need it.
Yep. When you're in there, you sit where it says sit here, and tap on the This is the video. There.
Right. Hello, I'm Louise. I've drawn the short straw in coming in here. And quite frankly, don't really know what to expect, but we'll see what happens. Right.
Out of the two of them at the moment, Louise definitely seems more nervous.
Yeah. I'd say so. And out of the two of us, I'd say it's me.
At the moment.
Yeah. Gone awfully dry in the throat.
Haven't we? Should we have a can before we go?
Shall we? What, beer?
Right. So what? While they're in the fear experiment, we'll have a bit of a drink.
Cheers,
Chill
mate.
out.
Thank you. Never guess what now, don't you?
Oh.
Dying for a shit.
Absolute bellend. You absolute knob. How long have you got on camera? Such a dick. Oh man, it's gone fucking everywhere. It's gone up my nose and everywhere. In my fucking eyes.
Oh, I'm glad that's happened. That's gave me a bit of confidence now.
It's in my eyebrows, it's in my hair.
It's in your eyebrows.
Right, so you're going to go in next? Me. You have to go next.
Tell you what, throw that back in. Give it a shake.
I'll tell you what. I'll pull a name out. Brian.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do that one there. So you go in next, I'll go in last, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
So next room.
Go on.
I'll tell you what, this is all going wrong. This is all going horribly wrong.
Oh, mate, I will see you in an hour. Alright.
Yep, so I'm in the barn. Right, there's your UV torch.
Thanks, buddy. Check it works. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Right, there's your UV torch. I've got my UV torch.
Yeah.
Let's go in.
Let's go in.
It's not what I had in mind. When we said we were coming, Brian's been terrified of going in the barn. So I was really hoping he'd get the barn. But there's a 50-50 chance, and I've got it, so... To be fair, I didn't actually feel too bad about the barn, but the other three don't seem to want it, so perhaps it's worse, I don't know. Right, I'm going to give Brian a minute to go through. I'll have to take that camera with me, shut it down and go myself.
I think that's someone going up into the attic.
Okay. So I got the attic room of the ancient ram.
I don't know if it was this or not. Right, here it goes. The ancient ram in. Fear experiment. Take 3. Right, so here I am in the barn. Safe to say it's extremely creepy.
Is any spirits in here with me? Do you make yourself known? Do I give you permission to hurt me or harm me? I just want to know whether you're here.
Walking through that building is absolutely terrifying.
I can actually totally see now I'm in here. When no one else wanted to come in here. A really eerie vibe. I will say, as I can still see traffic, hear traffic passing outside, which is some comfort.
Right now I'm actually shitting myself. It's a beautiful room, mind you. Can you knock on something? Let me know that you're here.
Sort of weird being sat here with my back turned to the bed. Kind of expect to see somebody when you turn around. And I've got mirrors either side. can see why this would mess with people's heads.
I'm feeling very confident near at all, actually. Not very confident at all. I know we've done this experiment at a few places now, but it always feels worse at the Ram.
So cold in here. I feel absolutely freezing. So cold. I don't feel like I can move from this spot either.
So I believe this is the room where lots of furniture and stuff like that would be destroyed on a frequent basis. Things would be moved.
Someone's in here with me. Can you move one of the toys on the bed?
If there's any spirits up here with me, are you able to move anything which is in this attic? Any items? Could you please move them? Could you throw anything?
It's actually quite nice just to sit here and take in the atmosphere, rather than be calling and everything else.
You could see that's a haunted, by the way.
Saw him walking outside and made me shit myself.
Sounds like a rattling sound.
So it's definitely one of the more active rooms last time we come. Me and Brian, oh sorry, me and Chloe heard a noise in here. Brian didn't actually hear it. Surprisingly. What was that? Did you hear that?
Yes! Jesus!
What did you hear?
A male voice.
A male voice went shoo or something like that.
I didn't hear.
Did you hear that, Chloe?
Yeah. I swear I can hear something behind me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's so cold in here.
Please, if there's anybody here, please make your presence known. There's lots of different things that you can touch in this room, things that you can move. You can make a sound for me.
Some competition, to be fair. Last time we come, Chris was in here from M&A and he absolutely smashed it. He absolutely smashed it. The only time he got a bit jumpy was when I banged on the door to try and scare him.
Like I said, I've been teasing them all afternoon.
Bit of revenge for earlier.
Is there anyone in here with me? You make a tap and knock in.
I've just heard a creaking down there. Down the stairs.
Pretty sure my torch was flickered though. Which is interesting. Brand new torches, brand new batteries.
My torch keeps doing really random stuff. I'm hoping it's a dodgy torch and not nothing else.
You know, talking about down the stairs as well, that reminds me of the very first time we ever came here. And we were sat just where the camera is. We were looking to do a Ouija board. And I remember Nathan looking down the stairs and saying that he saw the top of like a bald head, like a bald-headed man, walking down the stairs.
Right, so we're going to set up the Ouija board session now. So now I could have swore I saw something on the stairs there. Really? Yeah, at the corner of my eye. That's really startled me.
What did you think you saw?
Honestly, I thought I saw a bald bloke stood on the stairs. Like literally, I was looking. I had the camera pointing.
Like a monk?
I do think there's a lot of wildlife that can be heard in here. I do wonder if just the natural noises themselves sometimes scare people as much as anything.
Instead of tapping. All of a sudden I feel really uneasy. I don't know what.
I feel very, very vulnerable right now. I'm very sad. And I don't know why.
Can you show yourself, please? Come show yourself to me. That's what I've come here to see.
You all sound like creaking floorboards then, but I've got a feeling that's actually upstairs.
Keeps thinking I saw sat in that chair over there. There isn't. It's probably just my imagination.
Bit of a bang then. I'm guessing that's possibly Sophie in the witch's room. And again, hopefully.
I think the closest room to me is probably the witch's room. She's just at the top of the stairs. I think that noise did sound like it come from the witch's room.
So quiet here. It actually feels quite nice, but I don't know if that makes me feel weirder or not. But yeah, it feels quite pleasant.
You know, some of the other reported things that happen in this room, I believe an old innkeeper murdered his daughter in here and actually hung her from one of the beams, and I believe she has been seen in here hanging still. It's a bit like the barn really downstairs. The barn, a figure that has been hung has been seen from one of the beams. It's the same up here. I'll be totally honest, thinking about it, before I came here, the attic was probably one of the lesser places I'd be worried about, but when you actually think about all the stories and all what's meant to happen up here, I suppose no place is particularly very inviting.
I'm not scared, I can actually hear the heart beating up here. Is there anyone over in that corner?
I wonder how the others are getting on. I'll be honest, I do actually feel for Nath in the barn, because that's somewhere I didn't really want to end up. So hopefully he's getting on okay.
Torch definitely blinkered then. So that's twice my torch has gone off and come back on very quickly. Oh, and it's gone bright again now. Interesting now when I talk about my torch. We're actually joking outside about one of the torches being faulty, but they're all actually brand new torches. They're all fresh out the box. The only thing we've done is put batteries in, which were all brand new batteries, and my torch has gone dim again. Shaking it and nothing. That's interesting. Tap it, it come back on then. So maybe it is a connection issue.
I constantly feel like I need to look in that corner.
I'm just going to close my eyes for a bit, I think, and just see what happens.
I think one of the misconceptions of us doing this experiment as well is that me and Brian are sort of impervious to it. Impervious? I don't know if that's the right word. Just because we're investigators. But we can get as scared as anybody. We're only human. As much as we're probably slightly more used to it than the girls, we're not impervious to it. We can definitely be scared by the ram.
I keep hearing like really sort of tapping behind me a bit. It could be like just old house noises.
Definitely feeling a bit on the strange side up here. With my eyes shut, Felt a bit cooler. Bit of a strange smell. But I feel okay, generally.
It's nice that we got the RAM for so long tonight. Had more movement together.
I can hear someone talking, but it sounds like Nath, but he sounds really close. Sounds like a conversation.
This room is seriously gone freezing cold.
I can still hear what sounds like a conversation, but I can't make anything out, and I don't know who it is talking. I don't know if it's inside the building or outside the building, I really can't tell.
So at the moment it's gone eerily quiet. Eerily quiet.
I think I'm trying to think too much into this.
Well, I've been near a while now. Can you do something to show yourself or to show me that you're here? I've heard a lot of stories about this room.
When we were setting up and we actually set this room up, the one thing we both said was that the way in which it's set up with the camera so far away and picking up so much of the room and sitting right in this far corner of the room, it does make you feel quite isolated. It's very isolating.
Is there anybody in the corner of this room? Can you knock for me, if there is? I think I've just seen a mist. By the door. Could have been my eyes, but I swear it was a mist. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, or whether it caught it or not, I don't know. But it just looked like a mist.
Still looking for a signal that there's somebody here. Still looking for proof of the spirit world. Can you please prove it to me?
We're actually one short tonight. There was supposed to be a good friend of ours called Steve coming, who never actually turned up. He couldn't make it, unfortunately. But hopefully in the future he'll be able to come if we come again. He's a lovely guy, Steve, and he's got such an interest in this building. Shame he couldn't make it.
Can you say my name? My name's Brian. Can you say that? Can you tell me what your name is? Can you tell me who you were? Can you tell me the year that you died? Or the year you lived here?
Oliver, someone's actually wrote on a mirror, "Help me." I just really hate that corner.
In some respects, I've got a benefit over everyone else that I'm the one timing it. So I know how long we've been in here. I know how long we've got left in here. Torch just come on super bright again. Whereas the other guys have absolutely no idea how long they're going to be stuck in their rooms for.
It's actually really horrible not knowing how long you've got left.
Really odd sensation, and it felt like somebody was breathing down the back of my neck. Icy cold sort of breathing down the back of my neck. And here now. That's suddenly gone really cold.
It's very easy to think you're seeing shadows in this room moving. Perhaps I am. I mean, perhaps I am.
I swear, I just saw something on that chair. Is that you sat on that chair? This torch keeps flickering like I don't know what.
I can almost feel the breeze. It's like a breeze I can feel. Like actual movement of air. First time I felt it. Legitimately feels like somebody's breathing down my neck. And it stopped.
I will say, as I come in peace, I have no threat to anybody or anything that resides here. I certainly mean no harm.
Spirits, see this monkey on the bed? Can you move this monkey on the bed? If you're here with me, that'd be amazing.
The reason I put my torch on, there was a little tap or thump noise behind me then. It was loud enough to get my attention. Thank you if that was you. Can you do that again?
Yeah, Louise seemed a little bit nervous, but it's the first time doing anything like this, I believe, so it's quite understandable. Me and Brian are nervous and we do it all the sodding time, so.
Just saw a light flash up there.
Oh, my torch had just come back to full brightness. I'd love to know if anyone else is having problems with the torch.
I genuinely feel like there's someone sat in that chair just watching me. And I feel the need to keep looking just to double check there's nobody's out there.
And more creaking. But it is an old building, so you've got to expect creaking. I thought I saw a figure there. I'll turn that way. When I turned back, I thought I saw like a figure stood there. With that said, I'm going to end the fear experiment now. I'm going to head upstairs. I'm going to see Brian first, interview him, then I'll go to Louise and then Sophie and work my way back down and see how everyone got on. The barn, I would say, is a very scary place. Very, very scary. I've heard some strange noises. And I think the worst thing for me happened actually not long ago, probably about 5 minutes ago. So I'm sure I saw a black figure, but it was very, very large. To my right, very large, almost giant size, but definitely a human shape. So with that said, we're in the fear experiment, and I'm going to go see how the others got on.
Sounds like someone's trying to scare the shit out of me. Has it been an hour already?
It's been an hour.
Joke. How'd you get on?
Didn't like it.
How did you get on?
Didn't like it at all. Whoa. How did you get on?
Yeah, I was alright, to be honest.
Have you had
I've
anything?
had some strange things. I've had a recent sort of tap or knock behind me, quite loud.
Okay.
And throughout the majority of the night I've had like a rattling sound by there, but I'm going to assume it's like a bird or something.
Okay, that's interesting.
I've also had...
That mirror's quite freaky, isn't it?
Yeah, I noticed that they were playing with me a little bit. Didn't like it when I first got in, then I adjusted, calmed down a bit, then I closed my eyes for about 5-10 minutes and went completely silent.
I found in the barn I actually struggled to speak this time.
Did you?
I went in there and I was okay for a while, but I didn't realise how dark it was in there.
Yeah.
And the flooring's so uneven.
It's disorientating.
And I was quite happy in there for a while, then my torch started playing up. Started going on and off.
Right.
And I literally wasn't moving, I was just like that. It was going on and off. I thought, that's weird.
They're brand new again, brand new torches.
Right, that's what I said to the
And
camera.
batteries.
Brand new torches, brand new batteries. I know we were joking about one being dud, but we know they're not, they're all new. At one point it sounded like a chair being scraped a little bit.
In the barn?
In the barn, that creeped me out quite a lot.
Okay.
And I could hear what sounded like footsteps by the entrance to the barn by where we set the camera up.
Right.
So I didn't like that either. But the worst thing I had was I sat in a chair and there's actually a little mirror at the back of the room.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I looked at the mirror like that, and then when I looked back, I could have swore I saw, obviously I was sat on the far table, but between the far table and the nearer table, it looked like a figure, but it was massive.
What, like a dark figure?
Like a dark figure,
It's one of the ones that maybe
but
have
it
been
was
seen in there.
massive. I'd say it was like the outline of a monk, but sort of, imagine Hagrid from Harry Potter sort of size. It was massive.
Right, okay.
Just looked huge. And I sort of flipped like that and it went. But after that I heard a few more noises and stuff. And I was quite happy to end the fear experiment not long after that, to be honest. I was quite...
You shook up?
A little bit. Questioning whether I actually saw it or not, because you always do.
So I'm assuming you didn't leave the room?
No.
Okay. Because something else I've noticed, but I couldn't tell, and I have said it to the camera, I actually thought you came up here at one point and was speaking to one of the girls downstairs.
No, I've literally just come upstairs and you're the first person I come to.
I've heard a
I haven't stopped on the landing or anything.
I have heard a full-on conversation very distantly with a bloke, like a male and a female. The only other thing I would say I had is I had, like, when I closed my eyes for that period of time, I had a cold sort of spell. Could have been because of my senses, maybe.
Yeah.
But then I think I said something, I was calling out, and I said something about 5-10 minutes after, and I have had it actually felt like breathing down my neck. Like I could feel it. Cold, very cold, sort of like somebody's blowing air down the back of my neck.
So your room's set up very similar to the way the barn was, that you're in the far end.
Yeah.
So you got the whole room in front of you.
Yeah.
So to feel something behind you is quite peculiar.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything behind me. It was actually in front of me.
I know I've got the psychological aspect of there being a bed behind me, but at the same point, apart from when I first got in here, I wasn't really looking at that. I was looking at everything else. But that air, literally, like I've not felt a breeze, as you can feel. There's no breeze.
See, for me, the vastness of the barn was just the torch. If I shine this torch in here, it lights stuff up.
Yeah.
And the barn, it's just lost in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really light. It's just
too far, isn't it?
Yeah. And you start thinking about the stories and different things that happened. I know there's obviously most haunted and what happened to Stuart, but you do start to question: did it happen? And am I safe in here? And I'm that far away, no one would hear me shout. And
it's one thing I said, we're that far
very
away.
isolated. I haven't heard any noise contamination this time whatsoever.
No, I think I've heard somebody cough. And like I said, I heard a conversation, but I couldn't tell who it was talking. I just heard it was a male and a female, and I assumed it was you. But
well,
don't know.
We smashed another one, mate.
Well done.
We smashed another one. That's the worst one for me.
Out of the other two?
Out of the three, that's the worst one for me by a country mile.
Yeah.
That was every second. I was actually struggling to speak the whole time. That's by far the worst for me. Right. If you head downstairs, sort the snacks out and stuff, I'll go and interview Louise, then Sophie, and then I'll send them down to you.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Hello. How did you get on?
I survived.
You survived. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad you did. I didn't.
I had a knock on that wardrobe.
Really?
Yeah. Is it a wardrobe?
I think so, yeah.
I couldn't work it out.
Okay. So you had a knock on the wardrobe.
Convinced there was someone sat in that seat to the point where I've literally been sat like this. I've literally been sat like this because I was convinced there was someone sat in that seat watching me.
Okay.
And then I had what I thought was mist by that door.
That's interesting. So you've had... You say it was like somebody was sat here watching you?
It was really bizarre, and I've literally been sat like this because I just wanted to just...
You don't want to turn your face away from
No.
it? Right.
And I've been asking for them to move that, but you'll have to look and see whether it
See
did.
if it's moved or not.
Yes.
It
And
sounds
I've had
like
little taps, but
It sounds like you've done really well.
I've been chatting away, trying to get little...
I said to Brian, it's been the worst fear experiment for me. I had the barn in the end. Sod's law. And I'll be honest, I wasn't fussed about the barn until I went in there. But the way we set it up, sat right at that far end, it was for the first sort of half an hour, nothing. And then I could hear what sounded like something being scraped, like a wooden chair, and I thought that's weird. And I turned to the left, turned to the right, and I'm sure I saw like a big figure stood not far from me. I don't know if it's my eyes playing tricks on me or what, but that was really creepy. I didn't like it at all.
With this, I've been quite objective.
Yeah.
But the cold, at one point, I was absolutely freezing, and then I'd feel okay again, and then I'd get freezing again. And it was really bizarre. It came in waves rather than it being a whole cold room.
Brian said he's felt something behind him. You've sort of felt things behind you.
Literally there.
I felt, to me it almost feels like something's scoping us out a little bit, like we've got here, and it's around, but it's scoping us out, just wants to see.
I think you've put the nail on the head, actually.
Yeah, because I noticed the longer the time went on, the noises seemed to get a bit closer to me, and a bit braver, and I didn't like that, to be honest.
Because I had nothing to start with, like I could sit here quite happily, and then as it's gone on, honestly.
Do you know what? I've just got goose pimples.
There's someone over there. I'm telling you now.
I've just got goose pimples. Do you recall the video we first did? And Jodie had to get carried out. Now Jodie sat on one of those chairs.
Is that it?
Chris, at the time, Chris is a sensitive, and he was picking up. He said, "Something doesn't want you on that chair, Jodie. Get off the chair." And Jodie says, "No, I'm fine." And he was picking up saying, no, something's really unhappy with you on the chair. And not long after that, he got off the chair, moved to the bed, but he actually moved because he was feeling ill. And then by the time he was on the bed, he just couldn't walk.
Get Nathan and Brian to give you a hand just to get up and get out of the room.
Right, yeah. I can Joel's if you want. It smelled like burning incense in that corner.
Incense, yes.
Incense. It
Yeah.
smelled like burning incense.
That made it. That's because he doesn't appreciate what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, but I couldn't breathe then. That's because he doesn't appreciate what I'm trying to do.
I think we should get him out of the house.
We need to get out.
Right, everyone out. We'll go downstairs. We'll take 5 more minutes just so Jodie can chill out, and then we'll. It's a loud.
I'm going to be shot. Okay. He doesn't want me to go.
I'll be the last one out there.
Yep, I'm not really.
I'll take him outside. Give him some fresh air. Well, what are you going to do? So whether there is something attached or something.
It's over there, honestly.
Did you say it's that chair or that chair? So I can't actually remember which one it was.
That.
Yeah.
I just want to touch the chair.
Yeah.
Randomly, I just want to touch the chair. It's this chair. I do really want to sit in it.
That's up to you. Right, what I'm going to say is, Sophie's still doing her fear experiment. I've interviewed Brian. I've interviewed you. Go and have a quick seat.
You stay with me though.
It's the worst that can happen.
You stay with me, yeah?
I'm in.
I'm a bit of a nutter really, aren't I?
It's going to be interesting as the night goes on, I think. The one thing I hate in this show is that picture there. That man.
Makes you feel really apprehensive.
Don't know why that man. So if you want to head downstairs and just have some refreshments.
Hello.
No trouble?
Yeah, you?
How'd you go?
Alright.
You're going to tell me you absolutely nailed it now. No problems.
Absolutely nothing at all.
Seriously?
I've not used the torch once. It's been silent.
That's good because mine kept going off.
Really?
Yeah, so did Louise's. So you've had absolutely nothing whatsoever?
Nothing. I
That's
actually
depressing.
think it's like comfortable in here. Like I think it's like quite relaxing. But that might be me just being a weirdo. But
I've got to be honest, before we come, something about this room stuck in my head. When we're setting up and being here, it is probably the most comfortable. I did the solid bar.
Did you?
Enjoy that.
Did anything happen?
The first half hour, absolutely nothing. And then I heard what sounded like a chair being scraped. That's my imagination. Then we torched it and then I'm off. It's the cheap torch. The only thing I noticed is I panned my head round and I saw a massive shadow. It looked like a big bloke.
Oh, okay.
But it could be my subconscious just turning round. But after that I heard movement by where the camera set up on the doorway. To the point I actually thought maybe one of you guys had come downstairs.
Oh, really?
But apparently no one's been downstairs, so...
No, nothing moved.
So you've had absolutely nothing?
Nothing. It's just like peaceful. Actually quite relaxing in here.
I felt quite guilty. Should the first do the last house.
I know.
Loving it. So if we can left you in here. Louise has had, she thought she can see someone in the chair staring at her. I don't think she
Okay.
pushed through. How did you find the time? Longer than you thought? Shorter than you thought?
I would say probably the last 15 minutes started to drag, but before that it was quite quick.
Okay. Right, well that's depressing then. Congratulations, you smashed the fear experiment.
Thanks.
You get somewhere worse next time. I shall have to have some drinks and then I thought it'd be a good idea maybe if we swap rooms or something a bit and I'll try something different.
Well guys, here we are, we've finished the fear experiment. We had some interesting things captured. We've split up now. Me and Brian are in the barn area and the Zen pods just started going off already.
Whereabout would you say you feel the most uneasy in here?
In this side.
This side?
Yeah. Newsham Hospital, because upstairs there's a corridor where they used to put...
I'm just wondering why that's going off
Yeah,
still.
I mean. Really strange.
Whoa, what's it? What's it? What? What makes you angry?
You.
You okay?
Get that fucking off me.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Something flew over us then. Did you see that? I saw something in the shadow of that light go up. Come away from that. Come away from that.